What's up, YouTube? Hope everything is well. Today I have an amazing guest. I have Ugo with me, representing Catawiki. Ugo, it's a pleasure to have you with me, first of all. And I believe this will be a great conversation. We'll talk about different topics on the market, on the hobby, related with Catawiki, related with the hobby in general, and share a couple of words to my viewers that may not know you.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on Talking Cards, because I'm following you since you started actually with your channel, and I think
Thank you.
what you're doing, putting your competence, your time in this multi-channel activity is just great. And I think it's not flattering to say, yeah, at least for me, your channel is number one now in Europe in this segment as a
No, thank you.
viewer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and what I'm doing, where I am currently, I am the sports card auctioneer at Catawiki. And just to explain, because I know that many of your viewers are not aware of our website, we are an auction platform based in the Netherlands. We are active worldwide, including US and Asia, and with Western Europe as our core market. And we run over 500 weekly auctions spread upon several categories, going from luxury to art to collectibles, like the case of sport cards. And we auction an average of 7,500,000 objects per week. So it's a huge turnover.
No,
And
for sure.
we are an international team spread between several countries: Netherlands, Germany, France, Spain, and of course Italy, where I am based, while the headquarters of the company is in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And about me, previously I was working for Panini Europe as a sports editor, and I've always been a collector since my childhood. So I started with stickers and albums, and recently I'm continuing with cards.
The best
As I
way to
guess,
collect.
yeah, I guess it's the same journey that happened to many collectors in Europe. So because once you are in this world, you never stop. Maybe some for 5 years, and you start again, and you always have targets. So that's it.
Oh, for sure. I will actually leave a link below the video for people to check Catawiki. It's an auction house that actually use a good amount. I will also try to put a QR code on the screen if people want to go that way. And I think this will be a great conversation because, like you said, I think a lot of my viewers may not even be aware of Catawiki, but it's actually an amazing place to find Panini stickers that tend to be quite rare, tend to be much more obtainable in the European market. You guys also have slabs, graded cards. So it's one of the auction houses that I personally see quite underrated in the hobby, that people don't talk a lot. We all know Goldin, PWC, and they are a very powerful force in the soccer card world. But I think Catawiki actually have a lot of potential, and I really think my viewers should visit. I will leave a link below the video that will support the channel. One thing that you end up not mention, I would love if you expand a bit more, is your past with Panini, because Panini is probably the most important brand we have in the soccer card market. It's close to tops nowadays, but without a doubt one of the most important. And I would love to know your experience with Panini, because now you are working with Catawiki. Do you think your experience in the past working with Panini is something that is actually helping you a lot right now? Because you are in charge of I believe, all the stickers, all the collectibles related with soccer, and not only soccer, but since the channel focusing soccer, you get the point.
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, now I'm managing the auctions of stickers and sports cards. While then there are other collectibles in soccer like memorabilia, and we also have that kind of auction. I will explain you during our talk. But of course, my past in Panini is helping a lot, since I was I was part of the editorial team in charge for the for World Cup albums, Euro albums, Calciatori, Champions League, and my period at Panini coincided with the recent golden era of stickers.
Yeah.
So let's say from 2006 to 2018, or more or less this age. And I've been able to work directly on most of the collections that now we are seeing having the most important stickers inside the slabs. Like I know the Messi World Cup rookie sticker or Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah.
All these ones I remember. Yeah, actually, I worked on this collection when they were produced, and now some of their stickers are so famous.
No,
It's
yeah,
really
for sure.
incredible to think.
So I guess we can start with the questions because there is actually a lot of questions related with your time with Panini, now your time with Catawiki. So the first question goes this way. The best thing about working with Panini and the best thing about working with Catawiki.
Yeah, well, actually, I've already replied in part this
No,
about
yeah,
Panini
yeah.
because the best thing was just to have this opportunity, which is right in town where I live, because I'm based in Modena, which maybe you know is
Yeah.
the headquarter of Panini.
On the back, all the
So
stickers say that. So
yeah, exactly.
since you end up talking about the 2006 Ronaldo, Messi, the rookie sticker at World Cup level, do you think that people, how can I put this? Do you think most, especially the American market, do not understand how mass produced a lot of those stickers are?
I think that maybe when the big bull run started a couple of years ago during COVID, maybe most of the collectors in the US were not aware, but now for sure they are.
Do you think
I
they are
think
much
that
more aware?
yeah,
Oh,
now
okay.
they much, and this so we'll never see again some of the prices that we have reached a couple of years ago. I think at least on the most printed stickers. It's a fact. I think.
Yeah, I saw an article a couple of years ago for the 2018 Panini World Cup set that, and again, this is from the top of my head, but they said that every sticker was printed in 18 million copies.
Yeah, it's possible.
I
Definitely
was,
on the.
yeah, 18. I was like, wow, that's such
No,
a,
it's crazy.
it's crazy,
That's why
right?
you know even when you have a PSA 10 of these stickers of Mbappe, for example, which is the most important sticker in this collection.
Exactly.
Yeah, the price is just for the. Yeah, you can afford it. It's not impossible to.
Actually, Hugo, I believe I saw at the peak of the market the Mbappe PSA 10, the 2018, even not even the gold, the normal one, selling, I believe, around 1K. Right
No,
now is
it's
what, $100 or something like
yeah,
I
more
don't
or
even know, but
less.
is much less.
Yeah, it could be around a little more than 100, but not 1K for sure.
So the second part of the question was, what is the best thing working with Katawiki?
Yeah, but Catawiki, what can I say? For me, managing an auction is just the best job in the world because it means dealing with so many interesting lots, selecting, putting them together, and even if they're not mine, the pleasure is just the same. I don't know how to explain. And
So I'm sorry, I actually have a question. So all the lots, they are reviewed by you, right?
yeah, in this case, by me, for the sports car category, yeah, this is the most one of the most important features of Catawiki that we run auctions, but every lot has to be screened by an expert and and eventually approved, just to avoid that. We want to ensure that there is a minimum value on the lot, at least €50 estimate. Then
No,
uh,
that's great information, honestly.
and also to avoid to auction fakes or suspected fakes, and we are always very careful on this because
No,
you know very well that there are some of the most important cards have been reprinted big time.
so
And
this is a great conversation because I'm thinking about another question that is not in the script, but if you don't
no,
mind,
if you,
I
no,
have
go
to
on, no
I have
problem.
to ask. So, with all the fakes going around right now in the hobby, and is a sad reality, it is what it is at this
Yeah,
point. Do you think, since you end up working at Panini, the relationship between Panini and not action houses, grading companies in this case, needs to be better, or do you think it's just the nature of the sticker that is easy to fake? I would love to know your thoughts on this, because I mean, if you end up working with Panini, so you probably know much more than me on this topic.
Yeah, I think that for the old collections that were not meant to be collected in this way. I mean, just reaching so incredible values. Yeah, it's quite easy to reprint them, unfortunately, and we've seen it that
No,
some
yeah.
of the fakes are, yeah, it's really difficult to detect them, especially from a photo. Yeah,
No, it's really difficult. Yeah.
it happened. It's what happened also. I don't know if you are aware of, for sure you are, of that Michael Jordan Fleer rookie
86,
card.
I believe.
Yeah, it's been reprinted so many times in the US, and there are now you can spot the fake quite easily. Yeah, most of the times by some details.
So
And
you think over time, grading companies will also be able to spot the fakes on, for example, the
yeah, no,
Cristiano
for sure.
Ronaldo rookie sticker?
Yeah, for sure. Then yeah, they usually they are, because if you try, I've never tried, of course, but I've seen many rejected lots from PSA, for example, like with dubs on authenticity of these
Mhm.
Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi cards. That yeah, they've now become easier to spot, but still sometimes something can leak. Especially with the less experienced grading companies.
I'm sorry, but this is for me. This is a very interesting conversation. But did you, since you review a lot of lots with Catawiki, did you ever experience someone trying to submit fake stickers or fake slabs? I
Yes,
don't know.
yes,
All
it
right.
happens every time, and
Okay.
yeah, yes, and usually I reject them because I see, like I said, most of the time they are easy to spot. You can see some details are really clearly fake, and so
But Ugo, I would say one thing. At least I know that you have experience, but when I look at other auction houses, I get a little bit more scared, in the sense that, look, you are a member a member of not a member. I'm sorry. You are an ex-member of Panini, so you have a lot of experience on this. What scares me more is, at least American auctions, grading companies that don't have a lot of experience, they can get tricky quite easy. So that's a good point that you made. And I also hope that in the future, that all the grading companies get better, to be honest with you.
but I think in general that they are very capable of working on this kind of fakes or detecting them. Maybe yeah, sometimes an error can happen. Like yeah, I've spotted some errors recently that really left me really surprised. But still, it's a really small percentage, and I think it's normal.
No, for sure.
And yeah,
um,
and in the future they will improve.
So, guys, quick pause on the video. Hope you're enjoying this talk with Ugo. I thought was an amazing one. And if in the end you also end up enjoying the podcast, please do not forget to leave a like. Still the best way to show support. Also, a lot of viewers are not even subscribers. Consider to change that if you are in that position. Let's start with my Discord, actually. So, my Discord is growing super fast. We are more than 800 members at this point, actually very close to 900 members. And this is an amazing place to learn and share about the soccer card market. You can interact with me, you can interact with other collectors, you can show your collection. I think it's just an amazing place to enjoy the hobby. Link will be below the video if you want to join my Discord. Totally free. Now the second thing, so like I said, Ugo representing Catawiki, a very popular auction house in Europe, but I also believe some people may not be aware of them. I will leave a link below the video that will automatically redirect you to the sport card section, which probably is the one you have the most interesting. And again, Catawiki is actually quite underrated if you ask me, in the sense that you can actually find a lot of amazing deals there, a lot of rare Panini stickers. So if you want to join, like I said, link will be below the video. Is also a good way to support the channel, or you can scan the QR code you are seeing on the screen and go that way. Now let's talk about the final thing, my Patreon community. I put exclusive content every week there. Is the best way to support me if you really want. You need to pay $10 to join the Patreon. Don't feel any pressure, of course. At the end of the day, there will always be free content on YouTube. What I tend to say is quite simple. If you love my content on YouTube, you probably love my content on Patreon. If you join Patreon right now, just to give you an idea, you have access to all the old content. So more than 70 videos and more than 70 audios. You are talking about probably weeks of content that you need to watch. Link will also be below the video / on the description. So feel free to join all the three things. Like I said, the only you need to pay is Patreon. The other two are totally free. The QR code you are seeing on the screen works for all of them. So scan and you will have the links to all the three things you want to join. So let's continue the conversation and yeah, hope you have fun. No, I agree. I agree with that. So you also have 5 questions for me. If you can shoot me your first question, will be good.
Okay. So my first question: what is the biggest difference between American and European cards market that you see?
That's a great question, but is a difficult one to answer because there is a lot of difference. But I'm trying to think about the most important, and I think awareness, and I talk about this a lot on this channel, but I think awareness is quite different between the American market versus the European market. I also think there is something related with the culture. For example, people in America, and I understand not everyone, but people that are really engaged with the hobby, they feel very comfortable buying a sticker or a card for $100, 1,000. In Europe, I feel like that's not that easy. People tend to be a little bit more careful. They probably do not look at these items like investment items. They look more at them like, okay, this is for my collection. And by the way, that's actually a beautiful mindset and a great way to look at the hobby. But I think is awareness, culture, and also the mindset, in the sense that in Europe, we have a lot of collectors, but we may not have a lot of investors. If you know what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you. I quite agree. I think you're right. It's a great
I would say,
answer.
But I would say one thing: in the last 2, 3, 4 years, the awareness ended up growing quite a lot in Europe, and I believe right now we have a very organic growth in Europe, but we need the extra push right now. We need the Fanatics, we need the PSA UK that eventually will open to also start injecting money into the region, to also, basically doing a lot of marketing for the hobby. And I believe in 10 years, 20 years from now, I know I'm saying very, very long run, but I am super confident about Europe being crucial for the market. I believe already is a very important sector of the market, but will only get stronger over time.
Yeah, I quite agree.
Okay, the question number 2 I have for you is an interesting one. Catawiki, with the growth of the hobby, with the growth of the market, because you are very aware of this, in the last 3, 4, there was an explosion in terms of talking collectibles in general, but let's focus on soccer cards. Did you guys saw more movement? I'm sorry. With the growth of the hobby, you probably saw a lot of also increase in demand for Catawiki, for the categories that you are almost the expert there, right? So looking at all of this, how important is the soccer card market for Catawiki?
Well, yeah, first of all, just to explain you better, it's while the company started in 2011. These weekly auctions business model. And the sports card category is quite recent. We only started a couple of years ago. And yeah, we've noticed that we've had a major growth. And during this, if you compare year-over-year results, it's still quite a relatively small percentage of the company business overall. We have grown quite quickly. And speaking about football, soccer, of course, being the most popular sport in Europe, it has clearly had an important role in this growth. And it's also why one of the two regular auctions that of sports cards that we run per week is only for soccer cards. And I think it says much about it. It's been quite important so far, because we are over 100% growth year-over-year. Even if in a period like this, which is probably the worst of the last decade for European economy, as you know very well.
No, yeah.
So we believe very much in cards market, and we feel it starts just getting started in a way. Like you said, Europe is still quite an unexplored territory.
No, for sure. And I know I said this at the beginning of the conversation, but for people that may not know, they really should check the website, because again, it's a very interesting place to find rare Panini stickers. I bought, for example, a Ronaldo football on Catawiki, and there is a lot of great cards every week getting auction cards / stickers, of course, getting auctioned there. So great answer, and makes me happy that you guys are growing a lot, to be honest with you, because when I see a European company doing well, makes me happy, because I believe so much in the European potential for the soccer card market that for me makes sense, that you guys are also doing well. So yeah, I think it's your time to ask me a question.
My question, so you briefly talked about this before, but what do you think about Fanatics potentially becoming a monopolist in the sports cards market in case they buy out Panini, like it seems imminent?
I have mixed feelings about, because one company having everything is a bit scary, to be honest with you, to a certain level. Even in terms of creativity, there will be no I'm not sure about that yet. I guess we shall see. But in the other end, I think Fanatics can be amazing for the soccer card market. I was in my last podcast with Jess from PWCC. He ended up saying that he believes that the soccer card market will be the biggest market in 5 years, which I thought was a crazy hot take. Crazy in the sense that he's risking a lot. Is a very valid hot take, of course, but I believe every time we see Fanatics talking about the hobby, talking about what they want for the market, if you notice, there is one common thing every time: international potential, international demand. I mean, do not get much better than soccer, right? If they really want the international potential, what other sport they can pick apart from soccer? I guess F1 could be also a strong candidate, but soccer is much bigger in general. I also believe, and not related with the question, but I also believe that non-sports can grow a lot, to be honest with you, because they also have that international potentially demand in the future. But yeah, basically my answer is I believe Fanatics will be amazing for the soccer card market. Since for me makes a lot of sense, they will invest a lot in soccer. They will invest a lot in different regions like Europe, like Asia, even maybe South America, Australia. You get the point. Basically outside of US.
Yes, yeah, probably you're right, and soccer can only grow because when you see, I think you always check it, the number of cards graded by PSA. it's still, I don't remember now the last post, but it's not at it's not even between the most three graded categories soccer. So yeah,
No, soccer
yeah,
is
for me
still.
it's just incredible.
No, yeah, no, for sure. But
It has
that's
to
why,
grow.
and that's why so many people believe on our market. Because again, I understand one thing is real demand, another thing is potential demand. But to certain level, to certain point, I'm sorry, you also have to price the potentially demand for soccer, and or potentially demand is just huge. Again, no surprise to anyone watching the video. I'm a super big believer on the soccer card market. I'm not sure if we'll be the biggest market in 5 years or not. Actually, probably not. But I believe we will be much bigger than we are right now.
Could be the second if it's not number one, but
that will be also fine. Yeah,
it would be okay anyway. Yes.
My question number 3 for you is also, I believe, a very important one. We talk a lot again about international demand on this channel, and Catawiki, being a European action house, probably have a different perspective about this topic, the international demand. Does Catawiki saw a big change in terms of geographics related with soccer? Basically, what I'm trying to ask, and I'll try to put in easier words if that makes sense, is do you guys sell a lot for Europe? Are you guys seeing more Americans entering the Catawaki space, or is still very focused in Europe?
Just to answer directly, Catawiki, we are seeing a slight growth of overseas customers, let's say American, but our demand in general is still many European in cards market. And I think that's the most important point here is that the European Union and Euro are two major helpers because you have the same currency, no customs, shorter distances for shipments. So that's something that it's important for many of our customers. And I also think that the competition in the US is very strong.
Quite strong,
in this moment. And we'll surely talk about this further in our chat. But the US market is very different. Like you said, also in my first question, there are more investors on the scene, more collectors involved. It's a market which is already more mature for sports cards, and in great part it's also due to the total amount of collectors. Because, for instance, just to give you an example, we also have a trading cards auction selling Pokemon, Magic, Dragon Ball, other trading card stuff, which is doing very good. And we have observed it's mainly due to the amount of TCGs collector in Europe, which is could be 4 times the size of sports card collectors, dating back from many years. So it's already a mature market, and it explains a lot.
No, yeah, I guess if you watch the channel, I played Magic the Gathering and actually traveling across Europe, and the scene is quite huge. I mean, there is so many collectors for Magic the Gathering in Europe, and I also know for Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of that stuff. Like you said, it's probably much bigger than soccer cards, than sports cards in general. At the moment, of course, things can change, but yeah.
So I think if we are growing together with the growth of the market size in Europe, we're ready to scale up together with the number of new collectors, the diffusion of more sets, and as soon as macroeconomics will be more favorable, we hope. And like you said, maybe a big push can come from Fanatics investing outside of American continent.
Ugo,
and
even PSA UK, I believe will be big, because most likely they will open also an office in France or something like that for people to be able to send cards there. And if they open PSA Europe, they need to push that, that there is no way around. I mean, I understand that at the beginning, probably there will be enough demand that they don't need to do a lot of marketing. But if they want to grow the region, they need to invest money in the region, and I think that will be a thing, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will be. And just speaking about this, I had my next question.
Oh yeah.
I think it's very centered on this, and it's this one. And do you think that PSA lowering prices to $15 and possibly even lower?
Even lower, yeah.
Yeah, it's bulk price, but still that's the price. Will kill every other grading company, especially the smallest one based in Europe, or there can still be a new space for players in grading services beside PSA and SGC, Beckett, the American companies.
Okay, that's a difficult question because okay, let's see if I can explain my train of thought on this. So let's focus now on the grading companies in Europe. I believe in UK that there is a couple nowadays. Even in Germany, Italy, I know that there is a couple. But the reality is, recently there was a bit of a scandal with Love Queens. I'm not sure
Yes.
if you saw that. So
Yeah,
Love Queens. Yeah, Love Queens was supposed to be the PSA Europe, the PSA UK in the future. So if I had to bet, probably there will be a delay on that, since they have to find a new partner, or I honestly don't know how they will approach PSA UK, PSA Europe. So that alone, I believe, gives some life to the small grading companies in UK, in Europe, because if Europe is not going there right now, they still have some time to basically maybe even find a market for them. That being said, eventually, and I think this will be a thing, SEC, PSA, Beckett, if they want to grow, all of them need to go to Europe. I honestly believe in this quite a lot. And when that happens, look, I don't want to be negative, but I think there is a scenario, a lot of the smaller grading companies will probably be in a lot of problems, a lot of stress. It's not that I wish them bad, because I actually like the fact that there is more people trying to enter the grading space if they have really, really good intentions. But for me, I have one thing very clear. If anyone wants to compete with the big four American companies, they need to do one thing. They need to have some technology that is so different, so precise almost when it comes to grading, that makes them a really special grading company. And I'm not seeing that, honestly. I'm seeing basically a guy that grades cards in his in his house or something like that, and have a company.
Yeah, that's what's happening 90% of the times.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe there are a couple of good examples, and yeah, maybe in the end you're right, and maybe there's space. There is space, but only for one or two players more, not more than that.
But Ugo, I will flip the question for you. Do you think that PSA lowering all the bulk, whatever, all the services, can put in risk companies like PGS, SEC, etc.? Forget the small ones; those is a different problem, to be honest with you. But even the ones that everyone respects, SEC, everyone respects Beckett. But do you think PSA can actually crush them? Because there is a lot of conversation about that.
Well, of course, it's always very hard to predict. But I think that PSA is the most coveted slab in the market right now, and of course, if they make better prices, I think that it will be really hard for other companies to respond. And yeah, basically because they start from a dominant position, so
a lot of money also.
and a lot of money, yeah, of course.
No, yeah.
And so it just depends if the others company can differentiate a bit in their segments. Like for example, the SGC is quite good for the vintage in soccer at least. While Beckett, I don't know. I think they've suffered a big blow during the last few years. And also, let's not forget also CSG. I think it's quite growing. Could be the third one
Yeah, no.
in the near
Yeah,
future.
I agree.
And yes.
You are talking about the new one, the one that also graded comics, right?
Yes, CSG is for sports cards and comics.
Yeah, exactly. No, and
CGC.
they also have a lot of money, so they can actually potentially be. I believe that they can even be the number 2 long run, honestly. Because
they also changed their label. Now it's more.
I actually like the new
I
label.
like it. I like it more. And I think it's also a question of label. Maybe it's silly to say, but sometimes this lab
influences a lot,
does
right?
more. It can influence a lot, and PSA is so consistent in that.
Is very basic, right?
Yeah, it's basic, but you remember it.
And this is clean. I agree with that. To be honest with you, I don't even think the PSA slab is the one that looks the best, but is clean, is okay. This is okay. Name great. That's it.
I think they've done a really good job on the brand.
No, yeah, I would agree with that.
That would be a case study for a degree.
No, for sure.
In another life.
So I have another question for you. In this case, the question number 4. Recently, a lot of European card shows have been doing, I would say, quite well. The one that I saw a lot of people talking about was the London card show. I know you actually have been traveling to a lot of shows in Europe. My question for you is quite simple. How big do you see Europe becoming in the card show space? More related with soccer, but also TCGs, because like you said, they're also super important for the European scene.
Actually, I've been to the Paris Car Show, and then just last week to London Car Show.
Yeah.
And looking forward to visit also the European Trading Card Munich next weekend.
In Berlin, right?
November. In Munich.
In Munich. I thought it was Berlin. Okay.
It's been quite impressive to be there, especially the one in London, which is already quite established. They're going to make 4 editions per year, which it's crazy.
It's an amazing number, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really amazing number, and it looked like we were in the US in a way inside at the show, because the atmosphere was great, and many visitors. It was packed, especially the first day, and it's been really great to visit. And
but comparing France with in this case Paris with London, did you saw a big difference in terms of collector base, interest for the hobby?
Well, of course, let's say that UK is the biggest market in Europe, so there were more visitors for sure. But let's also consider that the Paris Car Show was the first edition, so it's promising. I mean, there were many visitors also there, and I think they can grow a lot in the next few months, years. They're for sure they're planning another edition.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tell me just one thing. For example, the London Card Show, looking on Instagram, I thought was super impressive what I saw, also some videos on YouTube. What you saw the most at the floor? Soccer, Pokemon? or at least give me what you believe was almost a trend at the show.
I think it was a good mix. Let's say
Mix.
it was 30% soccer, 30% basket and other American sports, and 30% Pokemon. For sure, there were many Pokemon sellers, and let's say 10% of companies offering services like us with Catawiki or other company offering slabs, shipment services and grading services, something like that. So it was a good mix. But of
What
course, among the sports, the soccer is was
what
number
about
one.
no, yeah, and that's amazing. What about F1?
Yeah, F1. It was. Yeah, I've seen many F1 slabs or in boxes. It's quite popular in Europe, you know.
But you
So
think
it's
okay, so I'm trying to pick your brain. If you have to compare F1 uh, with soccer, how much more common was soccer at the show?
mm, yeah, it was much more common.
I'm asking this for one thing. I agree with you that a lot of people in Europe love F1, no doubt about that. But I actually thought, and this kind, again, very anecdotal data, I understand that. But I also felt that F1 was super hyped on the American market. You know, I always felt that,
Yes,
yeah, F1 is huge in Europe, no doubt. But the collector base, I never felt was that strong, especially comparing with soccer, that I thought was so much ahead in terms of collector base in Europe. So in
yes,
America, I don't know, but in Europe at least, I think is much ahead.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, F1 was really hyped last year, also because of the championship was very fought until the end, and you know, with many posts and articles about it, and it was on all the news.
Mhm.
So it contributed, and while this year the championship has developed very differently, and
Much more boring.
Verstappen,
This.
yeah, yeah, it was more boring, and in the end, when it gets boring, and then yeah, you can lose some interest from the not the habitual followers, but maybe the ones that are just following the mass.
Actually,
So
related with
this.
this, and feel free to not share it if you think that's something you can't. But looking at Katawiki, how popular is F1 versus soccer, for example, since is a European action house?
Mm. Yeah, let's say this that last year it was much more popular because you know Catawiki is based in Netherlands and we have a strong base among Dutch fans. There,
Also, Verstappen.
and having Verstappen winning the championship was like
That's
a huge boom. It
that
boosted
makes sense. Yeah.
big time, so much that at one point in time I was thinking about doing a regular F1 auction, F1 cards auction, but then the supply is not so consistent every week. It could be that sometimes it's very good, but other times it's less cards. So yeah, I think that in the end, soccer is keeping its place,
His crown.
its crown. Yeah, of course. Even if
uh,
yeah, you can have
actually,
some moments when other sports get get very
soccer
popular.
soccer is king. So I'm saying soccer. To be fair, I should be saying football,
Yeah,
but
she's
since my
football.
my
I
channel
well,
the
well,
name is
I
soccer
say
study, I
calcio.
need to.
I think it's football in Portuguese, but
Yeah, it's football. Actually, to finish this question uh,
about the car shows.
about the card shows, expectations for the Munich show.
Uh, well, I expect, yeah, it could be the biggest on the mainland Europe,
Oh, really?
not considering UK, but I think it's going to be very big, at
Okay.
least 100 tables. So it means that the size is quite the same as the one in London. And I think it's
Mm.
very positive that also in this struggling economy, but the cards market is growing, and also these card shows are growing, and I think that they're going to pop out even more in Europe in the next year. And it's also can become a business inside the business, the organization of a card show. But
Ugo,
it's positive because it gets more people involved in the hobby, and
no, for sure.
eh,
Ugo, a example that I think you probably would like to know is that, and you probably know this, but I like to repeat this because I really think that this is a nice data, even though anecdotal data. When I started my channel, again, 80%, 90% of my viewers all from America. And for a long time, that was the case. Then I realized that, you know what, right now is 50% from
nice.
America. Then was, Asia, Europe start gaining a lot of momentum on my channel. Last month was the lowest month I had in terms of viewers from America. I had, I believe, 28%. The other ones, all from Europe and Asia, and also a bit of South America. But I know this is very anecdotal data, but I really believe that
That's positive, indeed.
the market is growing much,
And
much
also,
beyond.
you have also data on the age of your
Yes.
of your community.
Is bit okay. The age I have the most, I believe, is 35 to 45, something like that. I'm not sure if it stops at 45, but which, to be fair, is closer on my age, which I thought kind of made sense. But I also have a lot of people from 25 to,
Yeah.
so
Because that's what we noticed with my colleague at the car show in London, especially, that many visitors were young, very young average age, which means that many guys are going to stay longer into the hobby, and probably it's gonna last longer.
no, I
And
agree.
I think it's going to be something like we've seen for comics with the Comic Cons that are already popular in Europe since a longer time.
No, for sure. I guess we can go to the question number 4 that you have for me.
My fourth question.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a difficult one. I already know.
that's what you already started a bit. So in sports cards, we recently observed that the F1 market has grown quite much, even if now it's facing a correction. And my question is, which sport do you see as the next big thing, if you think that there is one? Because maybe there could
Okay.
also be no one.
Okay, but I will give you 3 answers because I think all of them could be valid. Honestly, the first sport that comes to my mind is tennis, and for one reason. I think the big three, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. Federer is not even playing anymore, but even the other two, I don't believe they will stay for a long time. They are more actually similar to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. They are probably at the end of their careers. And I believe that's important. People may say, what you are talking about? So the best players retire, and I think that's important. But I actually think is important because this new generation, and everyone talks about Alcaraz, and to be fair, Alcaraz is an amazing player, but Alcaraz remembers me, Mbappe, in the sense that is almost a new life, that can actually start the market, because people tend to forget Mbappe was not the only reason, but was one of the reasons that our market also ended up growing quite a lot, because people say, oh, this guy will be so amazing. This will be the next big thing. I believe there is a lot of people doing the same with Alcaraz right now in tennis, and even the new rookies, all of them seem quite good. Will they be as good as Nadal? I tend to doubt that, but who knows, is not impossible. But I think it's important to have almost this reset that, okay, those guys are gone. People will still collect the vintage stuff, of course. But with Alcaraz, there is almost, again, is the reset, there is a new life. There will be American product, Topps Chrome, maybe Prism.
That's true. And also that Net Pro set that has been sold for crazy prices. Those are Alcaraz cards. And he won the US Open right away, just
that was crazy.
To justify the investment.
I actually love to watch tennis. But I would say one thing: if someone is watching this, and if they also believe in tennis, I think taking a look at some vintage tennis can actually be quite smart. Because, and Ugo, you know this, the market tends to start at the top in the sense that, oh, the new stuff. But over time, people tend, okay, let me see, what about the Panini stickers for this guy, for that guy? You know what I'm trying to say? So I believe tennis could be the next sport. Will be bigger, like F1, like soccer. I'm not sure, honestly. Especially like soccer, I'm really not sure. But tennis is actually goes very well into what Fanatics want. Tennis is also an international sport, you know, so I believe there is some opportunity there. The second answer I would have for you, and I know you end up asking me sports, but I would say non-sports. In general, I believe they can.
I am very fascinated by non-sports cards, and
I really believe. And if look at what I believe is Zero Cool, the name of the company that is related with Fanatics, have been doing the Stranger Things, Gary Vee stuff. So they are really looking at that side of the market.
It's very interesting and potentially huge.
Potentially super huge. Yeah, I agree. I agree totally with that.
It's also interesting because you have so many characters possible inside this market. I remember you posted some photos of your snaps of Queen Elizabeth. Is it
Queen Elizabeth? Yeah.
And
and by the way, they end up going quite crazy when she died. But that's one example. I mean, there is Einstein rookies. There is
Einstein, Obama,
Trump. There is so many that people can explore.
I also remember an Elon Musk rookie.
There is Elon Musk. There is Eminem. There is Jay-Z. So I really believe that's a market. Again, like any other market, people need to try to find the best. People need to put time to see what's rare, what's not rare. Because even if you buy a very important celebrity, if there is a lot of cards for them out there, that does not mean anything to be honest. But I really, and when I say non-sports, I even believe in TCGs. I know Pokemon is super hot, but I believe Pokemon can grow a lot. I believe Magic can grow a lot. I believe all of this stuff have tremendous potential, and I guess you are going more in the direction of pop culture, right? And I agree with you also. Pop culture can have, I don't know, some bands, some rappers. You know, there is a lot of stuff that can be explored. The last one, and this is the one I believe the least, but I think UFC have some potential because it's an American sport that have international appealing, but
also
there is
international stars.
International stars also. McGregor, Khabib, all of those guys
are not American.
But there is just one problem with them. UFC would be my number one pick if this problem was not there. That I actually like to watch UFC. I think is an amazing sport to watch. But the thing with them is the stars, they do not stay at the top for long. You know, it's very easy to lose a fight. So think about Cristiano Ronaldo. Man, I haven't seen Cristiano Ronaldo at the top in the last 20 years. You know, if I follow a fighter, maybe it's 1 year. You know, it gets much more difficult to get.
You pick Cristiano Ronaldo, which is my favorite player ever.
All
probably.
right.
So, so I can only agree.
No, Cristiano Ronaldo
And,
is amazing for sure. But you get the point. You have a lot of fears to have a connection with the player, and fighting is, to be honest, for some people that's not even a sport. People think, oh, that's fight
yeah,
is
but
different. So
it's spectacular. It's
no,
like
I like it.
wrestling in a way.
No, I like it. And by the way, when I said non-sports, you also can put wrestling, that WWE. I think that's also something.
It's no sports. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
There
but
are
yeah,
some WWE cards of the past. I remember
Merlin stuff, right?
last week I must have screamed the Hulk Hogan card. it's, it's funny. I remember also when I was a kid, it was quite popular in Italy.
Mm. I believe the name of the set is Merlin,
Yeah,
WWF, right?
it's a Merlin.
No, I
Yes.
also had a couple of these cards.
Yeah.
So Ugo, my final question for you, and is a question I ask everyone the same at the end: unpopular opinion or hot take about the hobby.
Let's
Say
say
whatever you want. No.
it's. I don't want to say anything unpopular because I don't want to be polemic, and so it's so easy to be, but it's better to avoid for me.
That's fair.
But an hot take, just staying into the topic. I think you mentioned three examples. Um, um, I think that, yeah, of course, it's maybe it's too much of a bet, but I think there could be a Netflix effect like we've seen for F1, also for cycling,
Oh,
because it's going to be released a series about the Tour de France that should be available in some months. I don't know when it's the date, but it should be. And it's also because I'm a big cycling fan, and of course I'm looking forward to it and see if it helps to.
cycling is huge in Europe.
Yeah, it's quite huge in Europe, and I'm just waiting for a publisher to release a first epic set, like it could be a Chrome or a Prism,
No, yeah,
because the
that's a great
riders
point.
of this era, this era is one of the most interesting in decades for cycling, and
Okay.
after they just come out of a very bad era of doping scandals, but they are now part of the past. And interest only has to be triggered here. I think it's also the perfect sport to release memorabilia card if you think of big variety of races, jerseys in cycling. And I know that I remember Panini has published several sticker albums in the last 10 years, but I think that's an intro for something bigger that hopefully will come. But let's see, it's just maybe most likely I'm wrong.
No, but that's honestly is you make a lot of great arguments for that. And I from time to time I see on eBay some old Panini stickers related with cycling. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the best ever is from Belgium, right? I don't know his name.
Yeah, of course. Eddie Merckx is the
Yes.
GOAT in cycling. Everybody agrees on that.
No, yeah.
But I think that like you said, probably tennis is more popular. I think that if there is a minus for cycling is the popularity overall in the world, which is of course less than one of tennis or other sports. But it is let's
No, but
see.
makes sense, honestly.
It's just a hot take, right? So everything
No,
is valid.
I believe is a great one. So what's the last question that you have for me?
Maybe I don't hold the questions.
I believe is. Actually, I believe is the same question.
The hot take.
Is the hot take also that
your unpopular opinion or hot take about the hobby.
Okay, so I
Let's
was thinking, I was not sure about this one, but I will say it. I believe the World Cup will have a huge impact. This World Cup will have a huge impact in the soccer card market, but may not be visible right away. For one reason, I believe a lot of people will try to have an easy point right now, since they think that there will be an increase of demand. And I also believe there will be an increase of demand. Of course, macroeconomics are very important for all of this. But even if there is a lot of people entering the market, I believe the supply shock that will happen, will people trying to capitalize on the World Cup, will seem that, you know what, the World Cup is not doing anything for us. But over time, people will realize that a lot of new participants end up entering the market. I could be wrong, of course, but is what I believe. And this, I believe this is a hot take, because everyone that I see talking on YouTube, on Instagram, Discord, etc., all of them say that the World Cup will have zero impact. And I actually disagree with that quite a lot.
Yeah, at the beginning, many guys were saying that it would have been a huge impact, and then zero because just the market is going down. But I think it's also, it's normal in a way that the prices have been lowering the last year at least.
No, yeah.
Just because of many things. Just before the big boom of COVID has been negative, probably for the market overall, because it boosted the prices so much that now, like I said in the beginning, that it's impossible to reach those prices again for some cards, and it's been a big disappointment for many sellers, and they're still many guys are still expecting to come back to that era, but maybe it's not repeatable.
Ugo, this was not part of the questions I had for you, but now I'm curious about one thing.
No, tell me.
So,
I'm here to
looking at the Catawiki, and since you like me love Panini stickers, what are the top three Panini stickers that you saw selling on, in this case, sold at the Catawiki? The top three stickers for you.
You mean for the price of for my
no
my
for
sentiment?
for your sentiment?
I think of course, number one is the Pelé card from Panini World Cup Mexico 70.
Okay,
which is super iconic.
First World Cup set by Panini,
by
very
Panini.
important.
Yeah. Of course, it's a very iconic card because Pelé. I mean, I think that Pelé is probably the most iconic player, because he was so photogenic in a way. In every photo, it's so recognizable. And another one, it's the Cruyff sticker from Panini World Cup München 74.
74, yeah.
Where it's where Netherlands didn't win, but in the end
lost
like,
in the final to Germany, right?
Lost the final, but won the popular
on
sport.
The mechanical orange.
Yes, and the third one, it's not easy. Maybe having five was easier, but
okay, let's go five. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's not, I would say the Zidane foot 92 sticker.
Yeah,
because it's so. Yeah, also that one is so iconic.
Yeah,
in my opinion, with the yellow borders.
It's a beautiful sticker.
Yeah, it's super beautiful. But I have so many that I could tell you that there is the Van Basten rookie football 83 and so many others. Of course, Messi and Ronaldo, and the Ronaldinho rookie Campeonato Brasileiro 99.
Oh, did you guys sold one at Catawiki?
No. Never
No,
sold it.
but I saw
All the others we did.
no, that's what I'm saying, because the Van Basten is also super expensive, and
Yeah,
I
Van
saw Van
Basten we
Basten
had
there.
it.
So
Yeah, I think that Ronaldinho is more difficult to find, especially in Europe.
in Europe,
I
yeah.
remember that you told several times in your videos that you think that population is very high in Brazil, but still it's not easy to reach it. I mean,
No, yeah. And think about awareness in Brazil, probably very low, right?
yeah, but also I don't know about the print runs for this album.
Yeah.
Could have been huge, could have been very low.
No, yeah. I mean,
It's,
it's speculation at the end of the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's difficult to know, but it's for sure it's a really nice sticker.
No, yeah. It's a super iconic sticker
I'd
for
like to
sure.
have it sooner or later on auction.
No, yeah,
Let's
for
see.
sure.
Would
I'm actually
be
surprised that you end up not putting the Ronaldo sticker, the Portuguese one,
the Ronaldo,
the Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course. I mentioned it very quickly. Yeah, it's a huge one. I think yeah, it's very iconic. There is also the card here that I prefer, by the way.
You like more the Mega
But
Cracks?
yeah, I like the Mega Carcass card more. But yeah, the sticker for sure is more difficult to find in a very high grade.
No, even mid grade, I actually believe the sticker is more difficult. The real
Yeah,
one,
it's difficult.
not the fakes.
No, the fakes. There are plenty of fakes. You know that, especially on the marketplaces, the national marketplaces.
Oh yeah, in
You can
Portugal,
see.
you can find a lot of fakes, honestly.
Yeah, they try, and if if one buys, then
So yeah, Ugo,
and
I thought
yeah,
this.
but there is another one that I remember.
Okay.
I've really been amazed by the result of a Cantona rookie sticker.
Oh, the
Yeah, from
Cantona
the Panini Foot 86. Maybe
86. Yeah.
you know it, and it's yeah, just
No,
because Cantona was a famous player, but not at the GOAT level. Not even. I mean, he retired quite young, so.
it's a Cantona is almost an icon, you know.
Yeah, it's
Some
an
people love
icon.
him.
Yeah, it's an icon maybe because also it's not all about what you've done on the
I
football
agree.
pitch,
I
but
agree.
also outside.
For example, Ronaldinho and Ronaldinho was, of course, amazing, but he's much bigger than his career, in my opinion. You know, because if people remember Ronaldinho playing, Ronaldinho ended up changing football at the time. He played with a smile. Then his brand, not his brand, but related with him, the joga bonito, that you need to play
Yeah.
beautiful football. That's why people sometimes don't understand why Ronaldinho is so popular, because Ronaldinho was
No, I
very
remember.
important for a generation. Basically, he's my
Yeah, he
favorite player.
was. Yeah, I know. And yeah, he was very popular. Then came Messi, and together with Ronaldo,
I,
they
I was
just
about
changed the.
I was about to ask you what's the goat, the best player for you, but I believe I already know the answer. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, right?
Yeah, for me, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Mm,
And
because
second,
I'm a big fan of Real Madrid. So yeah, his era at Real Madrid has been amazing. But let's say when I was a kid, my favorite player was no doubt was Roberto Baggio because I
you
still
are
think,
Italian.
yeah, and the very peculiar thing about Italian players is that we don't have a goat like many other nations.
I disagree with that. I think
You think there
Buffon.
is a
I think Buffon is a goat.
yeah, but it's not undisputed. I mean, it's not like Maradona or
No,
Messi or Pelé or
no, I think
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Buffon is a goat in his position. You know, in terms
Yeah,
of
also, yeah,
goalkeeper,
for me.
is a
Yeah,
goat.
no doubt. For me, is number one goalkeeper ever. But we've had Baggio and Maldini and
Baresi.
Baresi, so many players, but yeah, that there is no one that you can say this is the most important Italian player ever. And
The
Baggio was very popular,
yeah.
even beside his trophies that the trophies that he's won. That he hasn't won much in his career, but
But
he's still so popular.
that penalty in '94 was bad.
Yeah, but I have better. I have more regrets for the 90 World Cup because that was our cup, and I'm still crying. You know, I don't want to think about it.
I'm sorry, my Italian favorite player probably could be Buffon, to be honest. But trying to put Buffon out of the equation, I was a big fan of Pirlo. I thought Pirlo
Oh
was
yes, yeah.
as
Also Pirlo is
remembered me Xavi a lot. I thought that very similar type of
yeah,
players, and
and all
I'm big fan of Pirlo.
yeah. There are all these players. Yeah, they are champions. I mean, in the I'm curious to see a development of the hobby with the growth could be that also the prices of rookie material or rare cards for these players like Pirlo, Xavi, Iniesta is going to grow
So
because
Ugo,
yeah
did you saw? I'm sorry. Did you saw my video investing in greatness for Buffon and Neuer or
yeah
not?
I've seen it. It's quite recent, right?
So it's very recently. The crazy part about that is I made the video, I post the video online. One day after that, a new Buffon rookie ended up appearing on the market. A rookie from '94 is I forget the name of the company, but was in a Parma set.
Yes, I think I can remember that set.
I forget the name of the
Uh,
set, to be honest with you, but there
Not
is,
sure
by the
if
way, for someone watching, my investing in greatness is still correct, but there is a new rookie for for Buffon.
yeah, but still, the rookie in the end is the one that is most considered
Yeah,
as a rookie because yeah, also for yeah, it's not about football, but also for Michael Jordan. The most important rookie has always been that Fleer card,
86. Yeah,
but there is now a challenge
earlier.
from
Yeah,
another set, an earlier set from published by Star, and so
and I believe is 1 year earlier, right?
yeah,
So
1 year earlier and less iconic with the picture because the Fleer set was just perfect. Michael Jordan dunking.
yeah,
So
and not only that, even cards they have lore, they have history.
yeah,
Let's
it's also about that. Exactly.
let's say the Van Basten sticker. Let's say there is a random sticker that appears in Portugal that was 1 year earlier. I don't
Depends.
think, but I don't think that's could be expensive sticker, But I think the market will still give a preference to the football
Yes. Yeah,
because
I think.
all the history related with the sticker, all the collectors that end up chasing the sticker is a Panini sticker. That for me, that's super important. For example, I'm not sure if you saw, but recently a new 99 Ronaldinho ended up appearing, but it's from a pirate set, So
Yes.
I
It's
still like,
something that.
but I still prefer the Panini sticker for me.
Yeah, I quite agree on the pirate sets because then you're not sure about the real age they've been published,
Yeah,
and
and and who knows if that the guy that made that set
yeah,
can still make it nowadays?
yeah,
It's so
exactly.
random.
Like they reprint the Panini stickers, making fakes. Then it's also easier with the pirate set.
No, yeah. Hugo, I think this was a great conversation. Let me say one thing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Means a lot. Like I said, really enjoyed the conversation, and we'll do it again for sure. If you have final words to my viewers, feel free to do it.
Yes, it's been a pleasure also for me, but it's been great, and hope to repeat. But yeah, that's just to say this, that since I know that most of your viewers were not aware of Catawiki, but I also know that many guys are always searching for new platforms to buy and sell.
Exactly.
All I can say is just take a look to our Catawiki sports card auction and try and offer lots for our auctions. And it's a very easy and quick way to sell your cards, and also to buy nice new lots. And yes, that's basically it. And also one final hot take. in 1 year from now, I'm sure we'll see Catawiki being on the news for selling a major high-end sports car.
I
Looking
hope
forward
so.
to that moment.
I hope so. No, thank you so much. Like you said, link will be below the video for people to check Catawiki. I will also leave your Instagram below the video, and will also appear on the video that people are seeing right now. For people listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, check also the description on the podcast, because I will leave all the links there also. And yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.
And see you next time. Bye.